a few days left before we get the Heart of Deimos update, and one good way to prepare for the upcoming update is by doing the Steel Path missions. Do remember that the Helminth system will require resources, and not just a couple, but a lot if you are planning to test out all Helminth combinations that you can think of, to give you a boost. I will share a method on how to solo farm Steel Path. Now I was planning to release this video 1 week after the Steel Path update, but the data I have at that moment were insufficient. You see, I didn't plan just to release a Steel Path guide which will help you farm tons of resources, but I also want you to get those rare Steel Essence while playing solo. You see, Steel Essence is not the usual bring a loot frame and farm lots of this new stuff. This is not the case for this special resource. It's somehow like those Vitis essences wherein loot abilities don't work. This is based on my experience, and I have tried it for a couple of weeks. I tried it with a Desecrate Necros and a Pilfering Strangledome Cora. Also, I tried it in various missions and I did not get any additional Steel Essence while farming with loot abilities and without loot abilities. The ones affecting the drop of this special resource are the Resource Drop Chance Booster, and the Resource Booster. The drop chance will increase the rate that the Steel Essence will drop from Eximus units, while the Resource Booster will give you additional Steel Essence. In normal cases, you will get 2 Steel Essence per Eximus unit if they drop. But wait, there's more. One of the most important thing you should have while farming Steel Essence is your Smeeta Cavat. This cat's charm ability will somehow proc double pickup, and if does, you will get 4 Steel Essence per Eximus unit if you also have a Resource Booster. So basically, there are 2 things that you should be considering while farming Steel Essence. One is having the resource boosters and your Smeeta Cavat, and the other thing is to pick a mission which will have a lot of Eximus units. Honestly, when I heard about this special resource dropping from Eximus units, I remember one mission, and that is Disruption. Remember that Disruption has this Eximus wave modifier that will spawn these types of units frequently. The best thing you can do is to do every conduit and fail them until you get the Eximus wave, and then fail the conduit again to get the modifier. After that, you can endlessly farm Steel Essence with that increase Eximus spawn. Theoretically, this is a sound strategy, but in reality, it wouldn't be that good since this game mode has a timeout counter wherein you need to proceed to another conduit or else probably, that Eximus wave won't last long and you will need to repeat the same process until you get the modifier. So basically, Disruption is out of the picture. The next thing I look at is Dark Sector missions. They are easy since you'll deal with just infested units, and they also have a resource drop chance modifier. Throughout my experiment, I honestly can say that Dark Sector is a good option when it comes to farming Steel Essence, but not as good as the 2 survival missions I found that yields the most Steel Essence per run. The missions I'm talking about are the Orogin Derelict Survival, and the other survival mission in Uranus called Ophelia. If you want to farm Steel Essence, then I advise you to try out these missions. I don't know if this is true or not, but based on my experience, these 2 missions do spawn a lot of Eximus compared to other survival missions. Usually, these type of units does spawn better when you are at 20 to 30 minutes in the survival mission. And what I usually do in my experiment is to try every survival mission for an hour. In an hour, Ophelia can give me 40 to 50 Steel Essence while playing it solo, while the survival mission in Orogin Derelict will yield 32 to 48 Steel Essence on average. I did not try to go beyond an hour, since it's just for testing purposes. Probably if I did, then it would give me more Steel Essence. And don't worry, as I got a setup for which will let you go endless on these types of missions. The last thing you should know before we discuss any builds is that Smeeta Cavat is a must when you are farming Steel Essence. It may be just base on luck to proc the double pickup buff, but it's active for a long duration. And also, if you will farm these missions with a team, while having a full squad with Smeeta Cavat, then you could possibly get lots of Steel Essence. I will suggest a couple of team setup later, but for now, let's focus on solo farming Steel Essence. Out of all the frames I've tried while farming Steel Essence alone, I can say that this best for this task is Cora. All you need to do is mod this frame with lots of range, then add both Pilfering Strangledome and Accumulating Whip Claw augments. This augment is for damage obviously, but you may find the Pilfering augment odd since I did say that loot abilities don't give you more Steel Essence. Yes, that is correct. But this loot augment is not intended to farm Steel Essence, but the other resources you may get while farming the special resource. In Ophelia, you could get a lot of Polymer Bundle, Tellurium, and Plastids while farming Steel Essence. On the other hand, you will get tons of mutagen samples while farming the Oregon Derelict survival mission. This build serves two purposes. Instead of just farming steel essence, why not farm resources at the same time? Now I have shown you how to min-max the whip claw build for Cora in the past, and I will link that video at the end of this guide if you have missed it. But basically, what you need is a good stat stick like the Mire or the Jaw Sword. But as a quick reference, here's the basic mod setup for a good stat stick. You would want lots of critical chance, damage or critical damage on your Riven to get the most from your whip claw ability. But if you don't have Riven, then you can just equip the Toxic Blight Augment for Myra on this slot. And of course, don't forget to bring your Smeeta Cavat. I don't have a well-optimized build of my cat at the moment, as I don't intend her to attack. She always just stay by my side, and what I need from her is to proc the charm buff. Also, it's good to have Tech Enhance on your build so that the charm buff will be active for a long duration. There's really no secret on using this Cora build for farming both Steel Path resources and Essence. All you need to do is find a spot, cast your Strangle Dome, and kill enemies with your Whip Claw. Against Infested, I don't have any problem with those Energy Leech, or those Ancient Disruptors, since I always have large Energy Pizza on my gear. Honestly, if you have Strangle Dome active all the time, then you won't have any problem with this build. You can use this for endless runs in both Oregon Derelict Survival and Ophelia. If I will suggest a team composition, it would be good to have a Speed Nova in your team. An Energy Vampire Trinity would also be good, but honestly, these frames abilities are not that important. It will just make your life easier and you will have some friends to talk to while doing long survival runs. Honestly, farming Steel Essence is not that hard, but it just takes longer. You might suggest that I should try Eidolon hunts, but honestly, Steel Path hunts are not for everyone. What I want to do is create a guide that is accessible for most players. Eidolon hunts require lots of min-maxing not only on builds, but also on the weapons you use, and the amps you have on your operator. Not to mention that it also needs specific focus school to take down the shields of those plain giants fast. It may have guaranteed Steel Essence drop per Terrorist Guild, but as I've said, the method is not for everyone. So this is the end of the guide, lads. I hope you find it informative. Don't forget to give your thoughts about this video, and you can also share your tips on how you usually farm Steel Essence and resources in hard mode missions by simply writing it down on the comment box below. Thank you so much for watching. Squad Leader signing off.
This is the future. Human error. Evolution. This is the future.